Okay, I got the memo, because after all I still read all the comments, and I have to agree with you by now that the review of the Sony SRS-XB3 with about 10 minutes for just the Bluetooth speaker maybe was a little bit overboard. Therefore, I'm going to try to do my best today with the XB2 to make it a lot more compact without sacrificing any helpful information. So let's switch over and talk about the design build quality. I found it to be very minimalistic, stylish, modern and clean. Comes in 4 different colors along with a really sturdy and solid build. And at the bottom we have some really nice thick rubber feet, and those protect it very well from sliding, because as you can hear, this kind of sticks to the table, and therefore I don't see this as an issue as on some other ones which tend to slide off the table. And here, in comparison with the Comiso C26, you will see pretty much the same size. And on my review of the XB3, you can kind of get a feel of how it would compare to that one, because with about 480 grams and a lot more of a compact design, therefore it is definitely a lot more portable. But it comes with a few pros as cons as well, which I will get into just in a little bit. Here we have the NFC tag if you want to pair it and not use the Bluetooth button, but the rest of the controls, I gotta say, are very self-explanatory and they are very convenient. That is something that I just have to mention. On the right side we have the add button, since you can pair this with a second one and use it in stereo mode. If you take off this flap, we have the reset button here, micro USB to charge it, and 3.5mm in case you want to use the cable. Now let's take a look at the sound, and I will have to turn it the other way around just so you can actually hear it better, because last time the camera had, or the microphone had troubles. Okay, let's start it. Okay, this should be good enough, because after all this demo won't help you really that much, and I'm trying to give you a good overview now. About the volume, this was just about 35%, so it is very loud, even though I have to say that everything after about maybe 80-85% sounds a little bit, let's say, like it would be too much for this little speaker, because it just compared to the XB3 doesn't sound nearly as big and as immersive and as big of a sound stage, because the XB3 managed to fill the whole room up, which this one still can handle, but you definitely notice where it is, so you can locate it quite easily. But just in terms of sound quality, I have to say it's not definitely nearly as heavily emphasized in terms of the bass. Everything is way more balanced, maybe because it just doesn't have so much bass. I'm still not the biggest fan of the extra bass function, because it boosts the highs and the bass, not as extreme as it was the case on the XB3, but I still wouldn't use it because it sounds a lot more natural, even though still not neutral without it. But the overall sound balance is definitely nice. The bass is really nice and tight for this small of a, or compact of a speaker. The mids are absolutely solid and the highs are very clear. But I just have to say, compared to the XB3, it just doesn't sound as mature, as polished, as proper. But considering the size, it does a great job. And yes, the XB3 is noticeably heavier and bigger, but I just have to say it sounds a lot better, and that's why I already want to actually go towards the pros and cons. Quickly covering the battery though, because 24 was claimed on the XB3, where we have 12 hours here, so get about half of the battery, because I could usually get about 5 days on the XB3, where I can get about 2 to 3 days here, but the last day already is with decreased volume. What I mean by that, we will see in the pros and cons, so let's quickly go through that. Nice design and build. Can't really deny that. Rubber feet, as I said, really good because it doesn't slide off the table. Very convenient controls, easy to reach and find. Combo use if you want to use it in stereo mode. Very good maximum volume. For its size, it is really loud. A lot louder than my Comiso. Good battery life. Just good. I would wish for a little bit more here, but I get it for the size. But here, the XB3 really knew to shine. And the value is still there. Okay. Negatives. Extra bass is in brackets because you just don't have to use it, but it's good to have a feature that you don't use instead of the other way around. I get that. Not really neutral, which I don't expect it to be, as all the other Bluetooth speakers on the market sound at 80% plus of volume. Like I said, there you will just notice that it gets to its limits, but it didn't distort or anything like that, so it's good. It just didn't sound really all that proper anymore. And volume decreases with lower battery life, and this is what I wanted to address a little bit earlier, because what I've noticed on the last day it decreased the volume to maybe 50-60% of its maximum volume, and it's usually still absolutely enough if you just listen to maybe TV shows, YouTube videos, and music at moderate levels, but you won't be able to get the full volume anymore. And in case that was also with the XB3 like that, it maybe was such a high decreased volume that I didn't even notice it, because there I didn't notice it, and I would definitely prefer it to have it on full power all the time and then just to drop down that, because this decreased level was a little bit weird and I just don't like that in general, but it was still usually fine enough. So let's get to the verdict and the value here. This one is priced at around $68. I also found it for $50 on Amazon, but I think there was something a little bit off, so I would calculate now with 68. Where the big one is at around 90. So you pay maybe like 20, at most $30 more for the big one. But in my opinion, you get just a way better, even though bigger speaker. It sounded a lot more mature, a lot more polished overall. The battery life was like double. You had a few more functions, I think a little bit more different. We had the USB to charge devices as well. The sound was way more immersive. You didn't really locate it as much. And this definitely doesn't mean that this one is not good, because for its price and its size, it really delivers. But just personally, mostly due to the way better value of the XB3, I would just definitely go for that one, because for this about $20, you get so much of a better speaker. But if you want it as compact as possible with a really good sound and good battery life, after all, this absolutely is great, because if I just see the market and all of those 150 ones like the Bose SoundLink Mini, the value is just so much better here. So my first choice, definitely XB3 still, but this one is definitely a nice second choice. So that's it. Video was a lot more compact, even though still 7 minutes. I didn't get it. Okay, thumbs up, subscription, comments, all that down below, and otherwise I wish you a nice day. Bye.